So I got some crazy recent news
Wow, that tastes really good. What's the news?
that I got a new job. Yeah, and it's
Hey!
heck yeah, and it's in the
So wait,
cannabis.
but what was whoa, you're jumping to it. You got to tell the people though like what you were doing before cuz wow, there's a smoke ring right there.
Whoa, I've
But
never done that.
by accident.
That's super cool.
But no, tell them like a little bit of the backstory too, because that just leads it up to how cool it really is what you are doing now.
So what I was doing before, how I met them.
No, well, both. What you were doing before, how you met them, and now what you're doing.
Okay.
It's perfect.
What I was doing before and what I'm still kind of currently doing is bartending. So that's obviously not an appealing job for someone that has a cannabis podcast and wants to get in the cannabis industry, but it's perfect for school. And I'm currently trying to complete my kinesiology degree, so it works. Anyways, I was at the NCIA event, which is a cannabis business event in San Jose, and I was lucky enough to get invited by Michaela McLaughlin with Spring Big.
And
And
she's from Florida.
yep, she's from Florida, and I got an opportunity to go around to all these businesses that were in the cannabis industry. I mean, there's hundreds, and I was mainly there for networking for the podcast. I wasn't there looking for a job. Like,
Right.
no. Um, and it's wild because I came across this company, and
They
were
are the only.
they were very interesting in the fact that all the businesses that were at this NCIA event were all like either growing or business to business or like anything
Or
like that.
services, probably.
Correct. And there was no.
It's not dispensaries.
Yeah, yeah, and exactly. And there wasn't any like distribution or anything like that. So
But yeah, I mean, the amount of people that were there was like over 1,000. Like there were at least 1,000 booths or 700 to be modest.
that's a lot.
So yeah.
So what was cool is I as soon as you go in the business summit into the San Jose Convention Center, boom, right in front of you, there's a big old transport vehicle, and I don't want to give too much specifics. I got to talking to one of the representatives there for the company, and we got to talking for a long time. And basically, what it is a distribution and transport company, and it's 100% veteran owned and operated. And they basically transport cannabis products from growers to dispensaries. Also transport cannabis cash to the Federal Reserve as well. They're the only company to do so legally. So that's really cool. Yeah, I'm really lucky to be a part of that business. I mean, there's some really extremely good people in that job, and I'm very lucky to be a part of it. So I can't even believe that was a job. And yeah, now I'm living it in the industry, and it's nice. It's
Well, and
bright.
what's super crazy is like I obviously was like a little bit jealous at first because I'm like, oh my God, that's so cool. I want to be in cannabis, and who doesn't, you know? So that is so awesome that it really shows people that you put yourself out there and you get out and network and really put your mind to something that you want to do and you can do it.
For sure. Heck yeah. You're right about that.
And like I highly doubt see what I did there. I highly doubt you would have thought that you would have been here a year ago, you know? So it's crazy. And it's a great entrance into the industry because, as you know, there still is such a negative stigma, especially with our friends and family back in Florida, that this is a good, like, opening, I feel like, to kind of get people
I agree. And
get people talking about it or into it at least, you know?
I agree.
And you're with other veterans. That's great.
So you said stigma, and you know what's funny is we always mention the stigma like as if like lazy stoner or like the non-active like person when you smoke. Well, there's also a stigma towards veterans and the types of methods that they use to medicate and stuff like that. Cannabis is still a Schedule 1 drug, so the VA will not allow any of these veterans to get a prescription for cannabis, and that's still wild to me. So the Veterans Cannabis Group is a nonprofit organization, which I can't wait to talk to the founder of that, Aaron Augustus, and he has a lot to say about the rights that veterans should have to what they need to medicate properly. So I can't wait to get him on here.
Well, what's crazy is I've even watched just YouTube videos of people in professional sports, and it goes back to people like Michael Phelps in the Olympics, and it's like they were surrounded by so much controversy and so much stress when they're already living this unrealistic lifestyle.
Right.
And not to compare it, but it is similar to the military in that you're living such a like in another world, unrealistic life that when you return to real life, it's hard. Like people get depressed and stuff because they don't have tens of thousands of people screaming and cheering them on. They're just working out at the gym.
Right.
You know? And so a lot of like athletes and a lot of like Olympians and stuff are feeling the same thing.
Yeah. Because their purpose is gone, or their mentality, or the scenario they were in for so long. They're encompassed in this ranking system. They're encompassed in whatever. If they were in a war, in a combat zone, they're fully ingrained in it, and their body's in it. And you're not in reality. You're not in 9-to-5 day-to-day job. You're in a whole nother world. And it's wild, and it's really hard to come back to reality without some sort of mechanism.
Aid.
Yeah.
Something to kind of at least just calm you down.
Right. And a lot of what's out there and a lot of what the VA gives to us is shit that's going to make us addicted and need more and more. And honestly, the side effects of the bullshit prescriptions that they have, for me, I'm not about.
I mean, it's the same with athletes and that too. Like they just give you opioids to dose up, and then you just take an oxy before you go play football, and you can't feel your body, but it's really just masking the pain. You're making it worse.
Yeah, agreed. And that one oxy turns to 1.5, 1 3/4.
But even like not related to cannabis helping in that aspect of life, I feel like it's helped me so much just open my mind and learn more about myself and be more like almost comfortable with being uncomfortable, because when you're high you're just like geeked out, you know?
For sure. It's
like I've made so many friends that way. It's definitely something that really connects people, aside from of course the medicinal benefits and psychological. I mean, even nowadays it's like stress and depression are probably some of the largest causes of like being unhappy in the United States or something, you know. I feel like it could help in a lot of aspects.
I agree. And you said it brings people together, and I totally agree on that. I mean, it drops down those barriers and the standards that your persona or your ego had. I feel like even if you're fucking Jeff Sessions and you take a fucking hit of the joint, I feel like you're just a much lovable person all the way around. It breaks down any sort of preconceived notion, yeah, to anything.
Have you seen the video where I think on YouTube it's like a nun, a hippie, like an atheist? It's like all these like random people smoke together, and they like all get along.
It just brings us such a commonality. It's wild. This plant does a lot of things. It's pretty cool.
What else did we want to update everybody on? What we did this past weekend?
Yeah, but I also want to touch about one more thing that you also said is opening your mind to stuff. And I'm still struggling with this, but when I got out of the military, I was extremely, extremely closed-minded.
Like you had your thoughts about certain things and there was not really changing it.
And there was no way of changing it. And it's not even thoughts, it's the way I did stuff as well. Like not even beliefs or politics or whatever. It's things I did. And now that I smoke cannabis, it's wild how much different I will take a step back or like a third person view.
Do you have an example maybe?
Give me a minute and I will.
Like maybe even, I mean, I feel like with me too, it almost helps me sometimes because I'm the type of person I like to not argue, but like I get defensive. I want to stand my ground. Like I don't want to feel like I'm wrong.
I think that, yeah, because your family is big. I feel like that's why.
And
because your siblings would mess with you, so you have to stand.
Yeah, and we all have to talk over each other.
So you have to stand up, yeah, for yourself.
But I feel like it helps me too in just listening and being able to take other people in and being able to step back and be like, okay, don't be dramatic, Rachel, and get so irritated about this or that. Like it helps me almost kind of have a bird's eye view and see, because I'm not so amped up and I'm not like anxiety.
It calms you down. It sets you back like into the fucking earth. It kind of puts you in your place almost, and it
like I can almost be pissed and then I'll smoke and I'll be totally fine.
Yeah, and
We're
it like
life
drops your
is
ego.
great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It like drops your ego kind of, and whatever negative emotions you're feeling, most likely, usually they'll go out the door. Because you'll think of why they're happening, and you'll be like, okay, A, I can either change it, B, or I can't do shit about it. Okay, if I can't do shit about it, I won't worry about it. If I can
Right.
change it, I'll go do it, or I'll make a plan of how I do it, and then I'll forget about it.
But then sometimes if I smoke like too crazy of a sativa, I feel like I get way too in my head.
Agreed.
So,
But just cannabis as a whole has
Yeah.
opened my mind.
for sure.
Yeah. But okay, yeah, let's update people. So last weekend, Saturday, what the heck did we do?
So that was what, August like 11th, 12th, and 13th or something like that. What day is it?
I don't know, who cares?
Yeah, but anyway.
Anyways, last Saturday, what did we do?
We went to Outside Lands, which if you don't know what Outside Lands is, it's a music festival and it's in Golden Gate Park, which is in the city of San Francisco. And it's beautiful. The park stretches from the beach to like halfway across San Francisco. So if you think of like Central Park in New York City, it's kind of the same concept, but it's a giant rectangle. So it's really cool. They have like bison in the park. There's a tons of different trails. They have a conservatory of flowers and a butterfly exhibit. It's like
It's huge.
people from all over the world travel to the park.
It's huge.
It has Hippie Hill, which is where they host 420 every year. So the park has a ton of history. They close off a part of it and they have this music festival 3 days long, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. We had the privilege of going Saturday. And
Thank
tell
you.
them why.
Thank you. Caliva, a dispensary here in San Jose,
Who we just talked to and dropped episode 15 with.
yes, sponsored us to go, and we are so thankful to have their
Support.
Yeah, their support for sure, because they've supported us for a while, since the beginning. So it's really cool. It's nice.
Yeah, and I mean, we love their brand and they're one of the most trusted in the industry. They have a great product, great people that work for them. So of course, it's somebody that we feel comfortable talking about and
supporting.
promoting, and yeah.
Because we don't support people that we don't necessarily agree with their mission statement or how they run things.
Yeah, so it was really
So-
cool. We, they hooked us up with a ton of swag to bring. They gave us all kinds of stickers, a whole box of joint papers that we gave out. They were giving out promos for ease,
Toasties,
which if you're listening to this, you can use that too.
Caliva 15.
It's Caliva 15. Perfect. Caliva 15, that gets you a discount off your first ease delivery.
Heck yeah.
But yeah, it was super cool. They sent us with a ton of product too, of course, some CBD dog walkers, which are premium flower rolled joints,
That's
toasties. That's a really cool product as well. It basically looks like a cigarette, but it's not. It's weed. It has the same style filter, but they actually go ahead and pre-bake the weed. It brings the THC levels down. It comes in like a 6-pack, I believe, in a carton. And they're really like convenient, super easy, mild high. It's nothing that's gonna like put you on your ass.
Yeah, it's really nice for sure.
Smooth smoke. And then they also gave us a premium Blue Dream joint, each of us. And then tell them what your favorite thing that they gave us was, along with the shirts. Obviously, we love shirts.
The G Pen Geo, that was really cool. It's a vaporizer.
Yeah, it's
correct?
like the Paxera. It's basically a pod style vaporizer for cannabis. So as opposed to a vape that you would screw onto a battery, it looks like a jewel pod.
Yeah,
And you just pop it in, and the Geo's nice. You don't even have to press a button. You just inhale.
just inhale, and it's really thick, and it's just you
The
can
G
tell.
Pen is heavy. Yeah.
Yeah, which is I'm saying this in a good manner. It's really thick in the sense that it's solid,
Not cheap.
and the quality of the metal that they used is really A1 for sure. When I hold it, you can definitely like just grip it very well, which most pens are kind of almost slippery per se because they're skinny or they're just awkwardly like cylindrical, and this one's like has a cool shape to it.
Yeah.
So
So we were stocked up. And of course, when we got to Outside Lands, we went straight to Grasslands, which was new this year.
what's Grasslands?
Yeah, Grasslands sounds like what it is. It's basically a cannabis, not expo, but it's a section of the park. They have different areas, different stages. Of course, it's a music festival. Then they have wine lands, beer lands. They have like a magic area, comedy, improv comedy, an art section. So one of the sections was Grasslands.
Yeah, boy.
And tell them about some of the people that were there.
Yeah. Emerald Exchange, Absolute Extracts, cookies, lemonade,
And Lagunitas. The people, was it,
Lola,
I was going to say
Flocana,
Kiva. Is it Kiva?
Kiva, yep, Kiva Mints. Yeah.
The other cool one was actually PAX. The competitor of the G-Pen was there. And if you bought a PAX battery there, they were doing custom engrave.
Wow.
Like, whatever you wanted on your thing.
That's smart, dude.
Because so the negative to it was they couldn't sell any cannabis products. Like, nothing that was there had any cannabis in it. So, for instance, Kiva, who was there, like, hooked it up with all these different, like, rows of candies and mints. And
let's explain it. So, Grasslands, Outside Lands is big.
I already explained that part.
Okay, cool. So
it has all the
Grasslands,
stages and all that.
little section,
But they
it's
don't
still
have cannabis stuff, is what I was saying. Like, the lemonade was just terpene lemonade. It wasn't THC. And same with the hi-fi hops.
I was gonna get there, but okay, yeah. Anyways, the Kiva booth was really cool because you go in.
It's like a confectionery.
Yeah, and it's like a big old room, but they have a bar of all their mints, and they have like little dispensers on a wall, and you go to your bud tender, bartender, mint tender,
candy tender.
Yeah, mint tender, and you just tell them because they have a bunch of different flavors. And you just tell them which ones you want, and they'll mix and match them.
So my favorite that was recommended by my bud tender was apricot flavored mints and the pink lemonade.
Yeah, the pink lemonade was really good.
But of course I was munching on the chocolates. And then they had a big jar of the Terra blueberry chocolate covered blueberries. They had a big jar, and it was like, guess how many are in the jar?
When they hear this, this is gonna be hilarious. Yeah, go ahead, tell them.
No.
Okay, who did that first though? It was one of our friends, and
I plead the fifth.
Oh my goodness! So one of our friends, she went up to this big old
the
jar,
contest jar, and took the lid off.
Contest jar, and like, cause it was off in the corner, but there's an iPad next to it.
Well, they were out of the blueberries at the candy bar too. Like, that's part of the story. We couldn't test those because they were all eaten because they're bombs.
So she goes to the corner of the room where there is this big old thing, like of 1,000, I don't know, a ton of freaking blueberries. Takes the top off and just puts them all in her little cup that they gave her. And like, she didn't even realize at first that this was a contest. That was the funny thing. And we're like, and Ray goes, wait, the count's going to be off on that. I'm like, what are you talking about? What do you mean the count? Because I was like eating on them too. I was like, damn, these shits are good. Like, I'm glad we're scoring on these off in the corner.
People were like entering their number right there on the iPad, and y'all are like eating the blueberries, like staring at them. I'm like, you better count like 5 less than whatever you were about to put in the iPad.
That's hilarious. Yeah, subtract 10 off that, like $8,000.
Which in reality, it's not really going to do much, but like, yeah.
That's hilarious.
They fucked with the contest for sure. But they might have already pre-counted it and put them in there. Like, who knows?
Dude, they probably just didn't even count it. They were like, all right, it's probably 1,000. So we're just going to say it's 1,037.
No, they count it.
You really think so?
Hell yeah. It's a contest. It's legitimate. It's not like fake.
Yeah, but I mean, as long as they have one number, then, you know. As long as
that's
it's like
just
close.
like, why would you even do that contest then? You know, if you don't want to count it, it's just like lame.
True, I'm starting to geek. Oh, shit. So Outside Lands was fun, I think.
So, yeah, we went specifically to see Smoke Perp, SOBRBE. Burner was a random throw-in because someone dropped out, so that was one sick. Of the best. And then Future, of course, headline.
Sick, bruh. Yeah, Future was
Burner was chucking out joints into the crowd, which is not allowed.
Yeah, nope.
And he was going, this is some limoncello I rolled earlier. Whoever catches this, legendary. You better light that shit and pass it to the person next to you.
Homie next to you. Hell yeah,
the thing that was fucked up is I saw him throw it, and I saw it land by these 2 girls, and I'm pretty sure they low-key picked it up and, like, weren't. Because everyone around me was going, where is it? Who has it? Where'd it go? Like, looking on the ground.
They probably didn't even smoke. Oh, man.
I was like,
but
dumb.
Dude, that was sweet that he was doing that.
Because that just makes it more fun if you're like all lighting up. But yeah, he was throwing those terpene lemonades out in the crowd,
All kinds of
cookies,
stuff.
shirt.
So Outside Lands, that was great. Now what do we do the weekend before that? Right. 420 games.
Yee.
And SF as well. And we were.
Which, proud of you for that. Because you were sick and I was like still sick. I was, yeah.
Yeah.
It was not.
It was
ideal, but great day.
420 games was sweet. I was sore for 4 days after. The next day after, I was like, wow. Oof. I was bedridden. No, I wasn't.
Uh-huh.
But it was tough. The first 2 miles were really easy, and the last 2.2 were...
And that was in Golden Gate Park too, but a different section.
Yeah, that was a lot of fun. Yeah, Golden Gate Park, man. That's a super cool place. So we went and...
We've been up in the city.
Whose booth was the best at 420 games?
Stigma's.
For sure.
Yeah, by far.
A long shot. I thought there would be more booths.
Theirs was so cool because it like put you in a different environment. You walked up to the tent and it felt like you were in like a boutique or like an athletic store, like a Lululemon or something.
100%.
And they had racks with all the clothes hanging up. They actually had mannequins that were like jacked, like Nike mannequins that had on their
they look good.
apparel.
I wouldn't say jacked just to like not throw people off, but they were fit looking. They look good.
I mean, for a mannequin, yeah.
The mannequin.
They were jacked.
You know they lifted pretty much.
Literally, Anthony was like, "It looks like Austin." I'm like, "Oh shit! Don't be saying that."
That's funny. Hey, you know what?
Like,
I appreciate that. Oh yeah, that's funny, dude.
But no, that was
great,
cool.
man. I love them.
I do too.
They're such great people. I love what they stand for. They have a community, and that's literally what I was telling Anthony and Nicole. That's all you can ask for is a community. People that'll stand behind you and believe in what you do and your statement. I mean, that's so crucial, you know? So it goes beyond just the product.
Right, yeah.
So
for sure.
Another thing, I think we should get Santa Cruz Medicinals on as well.
Brendan.
Heck yeah. And he was saying he knows the guy from Pure Extracts.
Who we ran into at Outside Lands. How crazy. I see him smoking. And I didn't recognize any of them because they were already like halfway past me. And I'm going, "Does anyone need joint papers?" And then he turns around and goes, "Broccoli Bay."
I'm dead, dude.
And I was like, "What up?"
Oh, man.
I was like, "Dang, like that's so crazy." Because out of all the people there, I run into him. Like,
yeah,
how
I know.
cool.
Right. Yep. And he's with all his other homies.
Yeah.
So it's like, it was super cool to meet him. They're nice too, man. Thank you for listening to America's Podcast. If your goal is to be informed on current cannabis news, educated on the newest laws and regulations, at the same time be entertained by your crazy but relatable host, you're in the right place. If you enjoyed the show, please share our passion with others so we can better inform the whole world. We would highly appreciate if you subscribe and leave us a 5-star review on iTunes, and by mentioning us to your family and friends. As always, we love hearing and interacting with you. Please continue to ask us questions and to keep us updated on your cannabis journey. We are here to inform, educate, and entertain the whole cannabis community on Earth. Maybe one day we will branch out to Mars. If you'd like to inquire about advertising with APC, email us at info@americaspodcast.com. We thank you for your support, and until next time, this is APC, America's Podcast.